Hello and welcome everyone to this Albion Online Dev Talk. My name as always is Henkys. I'm the Game Director for Albion Online, and I'm here today to talk about the changes coming to Albion's economy system with the Merlyn update. As you know, our goal for the Merlyn update is to improve the relevance of the royal cities, these being Thetford, Fort Stirling, Lymhurst, Bridgewatch and Martlock. With the faction warfare system, we're making these more relevant by making them the headquarters of each individual faction, thus attracting PvP players to them. But we also wanted to make these cities attractive for players who wish to engage in crafting and trading. And therefore, we're making three major changes with the Merlyn update to Albion's economy. One, we're introducing refining bonuses for royal cities. Two, we're introducing crafting bonuses for royal cities. And three, we've reworked a lot of the resource distribution across the world to make it more attractive to gather near the royal cities. Let's get started by taking a closer look at the resource refining bonus in the royal cities. So in Merlyn, each royal city will receive a new additional resource refining bonus for a particular resource type. You can check which type applies to the city in the new crafting bonus display on the region map. As you'll be able to find out there, the bonus for refining in the correct city is a resource return rate of 30%, up from the regular 15% that you receive in any other city. This margin will create quite the opportunity for trade and transportation. The home territories in the Outlands will maintain their current 20% resource return rate when refining any type of resource. That still makes them quite a good place for resource refining, but it also creates an incentive to move some of your higher end resources to the Royal Continent for refinement. It's important to note that the refining bonuses will not correspond to the primary resource type of each city's biome. Instead, they are distributed in a way that maximizes the need for trade and transportation, and therefore also creates interesting opportunities for both traders and the players who prey upon them. Next, let's take a look at the crafting bonuses. Crafting bonuses are similar to refining bonuses. They also apply in different cities on the Royal Continent, but this time they apply for item lines instead of resources. Effectively, if your item line has a bonus in a particular city, you will be crafting at a resource return rate of 25% instead of the regular 15%. The home territories will also get boosted up to this resource return rate of 25% for item crafting to ensure they keep their role as really good crafting locations. The crafting bonuses will, similar to the refining bonuses, create interesting new opportunities for trade, but also mean crafters will have to make a decision about where to best craft their items. The final change that we're making to make the royal cities more relevant is that we're changing the resource distribution in the world. Effectively, we want to make the royal cities the best place to gather particular low-end resources. And to achieve this goal, we've made several adjustments to both the Outlands and the Royal Continent. In the Outlands, we've changed the basic rule about how resources are distributed within clusters. Basically, we no longer have an equal amount of high-tier, mid-tier and low-tier resources in each cluster, but instead we have a higher amount of the high-tier resources, which will in most cases in the Outland be T6 resources, and a lower amount of the secondary and tertiary, which will be T5 and T4. At the same time, we've taken a look at the enchantment rates in the Outlands and made several adjustments. First, we've capped the enchantment rate for T4 and T5 resources to 5%, no matter what part of the Outlands you're in. And at the same time, we've boosted the low and mid Outlands to have higher base enchant rates for T6 resources and higher. Anglia, I believe, will be at 8% base enchantment rate, and Cumbria at 12%, and Mercia will retain its 20% enchantment rate as before. Finally, we've made a change to the home territory clusters in the Outlands. These were previously all T5 clusters in terms of resource distribution. They've now been pushed into a Tier 6 cluster setting, which means that they will have a significant amount of Tier 6 resources, a reasonable amount of T5, and a low amount of T4 resources. Combined, these changes should make sure that higher-end resources and higher-end enchanted resources are in good supply in the Outlands, whereas lower-end resources become a little more scarce. On the Royal Continent, we've worked in the other direction. We've increased the enchantment rate for lower-end resources near the royal cities to make sure these really become the best places to harvest lower-end enchanted resources like T4, T5, T4 and T5. In particular, we've chosen 2 areas nearby each of the royal cities where we've boosted the resource, the enchantment rate of T4 and T5 to 20% base enchant rate, but we've also turned these regions from yellow zone rules into red zone rules to make sure that while they're really good places to harvest, they open up the full range of opportunities for players on the Royal Continent for interaction with other players and PvP with other players. Combined, we think these changes will really boost the attractiveness of the royal cities as gathering locations and will increase the trade between the Royal Continent and the Outlands. And this sums up our discussion of the economy changes coming to Albion with the Merlyn update. I hope you're as excited as we are about the new opportunities for trade and preying on traders that come with it. Next, we'll be taking a look at the marketplace changes that are going to come in to support this increased amount of trading. But that's another Dev Talk. Stay tuned for that, and goodbye.